Hello, can you hear me? All right. So what we're going to do today is a live playthrough of Caves of Qud with some audience participation. So first, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Jason Grinblat. I'm one of the co-creators of Caves of Qud.
I'm Brian Bucklew. I'm also a co-creator of Caves of Qud. Is that working?
Can you hear Brian?
I'm Nick DeCapua. I was the first playtester of Caves of Qud.
That's right. Yeah. So first, let me just, if you're not familiar with Caves of Qud, so Caves of Qud is an open world science fantasy roguelike. It has a bunch of deep physical, social, historical simulation. It is inspired by many things, some of which are like new wave science fiction, weird fiction. There are mutations, there are robots, there are sentient plants and animals, all the good stuff. Am I missing anything? Okay, that's fine. So what we're going to do, it lines up really well. So just somewhat recently, we released this huge patch, which made it so that you could, previously started at this like handcrafted starting village. Now we have totally procedural villages with procedural quests, procedural NPCs, procedural like village proverbs. We're going to start in one of those. And we're going to take some input for character creation. You're going to help us out to create a weird character. And we're going to go, and then we're going to explore the world. And Nick is an expert, the first player of Caves of Qud. He will take some suggestions from the audience, some of you who may be experts, some of you who may not be. And we'll see how we do. If we die like really early, maybe we'll just do another character really quickly, because Qud's somewhat unpredictable. We might die, but if we die later, we'll just maybe call it. But first, so we're three friends. We all grew up together. We grew up playing games together, like tabletop games. A big one we played was Gamma World, which was like this cool, pulpy sci-fi derivative of D&D. We also, so like around 2006, 2007, we were playing a lot of Atom. We were playing a lot of Dwarf Fortress. We had the idea to make this weird sci-fi roguelike. And for several years, the only people who played the game were on this stage. So we've reunited here to try to reproduce that experience. I don't know, to share that experience with you. So, should we get started?
Yeah, let's play.
Okay, let's play Caves of Qud. So character creation's a mess. The first decision here, we're gonna speed this along kind of, because last year we spent 20 minutes on character creation. So the first choice,
which is pretty fast for Caves of Qud.
That's pretty good too.
Yeah,
so we're gonna see if we could beat that though. The first choice, you can play either a true kin, who is this sort of like pure strain descendant of the old inhabitants of these ancient arcologies, whose genomes have remained sort of stable, or a mutated human who can get all sorts of weird mutations. So the advantage of the Truekin is that you can't get mutations, but you can install cybernetic implants. The advantage of the mutant is that you have all sort of strange mutations, which we'll get into. So if you want to see a mutant, raise your hand. Okay.
Yeah. Wow, I think the mutants
28, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you want to see a Truekin, raise your hand. It's larger than I thought, but I mean, mutant tends to win, so.
We were going with mutant either way.
Yeah. Okay, it was rigged.
Yeah.
Next, we drop you into a stats screen.
Yeah.
All right, so Nick is going to distribute some stats. So while that's happening, I think the way, because it's not actually that interesting, the way we're going to do this is that we're going to just like take some ideas for mutations. So if you have played Caves of Qud, or even better if you haven't played Caves of Qud, think of like a mental or physical mutation you might want a character to have. Another way to think of it is just like think of a weird character idea or archetype that we can try to replicate through mutations. And usually we have enough mutations that you can do pretty well.
Yeah, like animals or superheroes or,
Animals, superheroes, just whatever. So someone raise your hand and do that. Someone way back there. Oh, do we have a mic runner? Is that possible? If not, you can just...
Yell loudly.
Wait, what? A spider. Okay, so...
We can do spiders.
Spider person?
Would you prefer like the multiple legs angle, or would you prefer like the ability to spin webs? We can do I think you only get one pick per.
Well, I don't know. Do people want to see spider person?
Does this work?
Sure, it's Spider-Man. All right, let's do.
Okay, so we have a bunch of mutations. So we're gonna pick multiple legs, right? Because the spider has spinnerets, spider has multiple legs.
Yeah, you guys
what-
want to eat easy on us. Spiders.
Spider's pretty easy to replicate, yeah.
Spider is well supported as a player type in Caves of
Yeah.
Qud.
Yeah, it's a first order member of the Caves of Qud character family.
But we're actually gonna have some mutation points left over. So does anyone else have another? Yes.
That's a.
Oh, the vision thing. Like
Yeah,
you
we've
can see
got a vision defect, don't we?
oh,
got
so
a vision defect.
right,
oh,
you can
a
see
vision
4 of the cones or whatever, right? That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, that's tetrachromic.
Yeah.
That's a defect. To be able to see better than me.
That's a defect. Do we have that? Do we have anything that maps well to
The
that?
best thing that we have is probably like heightened hearing, but I
It's a
don't-
sense.
Night vision. No, night.
Oh, night vision.
Oh, we have
Yeah,
night
yeah,
vision.
yeah,
Okay, night
Thanks.
vision.
Who knows our game better than us? Okay.
Thank you, please. We have
It
night vision.
actually is bleak. So.
Okay, how many mutation points do we have left?
3.
We have 3 left.
Enough for yes. One more.
Something where your body or the contents of your body are harmful to others and possibly yourself.
Okay.
That's easy.
Okay.
Like
we have a
gas
few of
generation.
those.
Okay, we have a couple things.
We have
like
various
that,
forms of gas generate, but you're actually immune to your own gas, I believe.
Well, but I mean, it's still harmful because you can like melt your equipment
And your buddies and like, right?
Yeah.
you can melt your buddies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah. Let's
Well,
get
so what
some-
what type of? So we have a corrosive gas is probably the most harmful.
Well, it's a spider. Is there like a thematic spider gas?
We have, there's
Well,
what's
like,
a thematic spider gas?
Sleep gas, right? Like, no.
Well, you say that like it's obvious.
It
Like,
seems obvious to me. I don't know.
okay, sure.
Let-
Sleep.
Oh, sleep gas.
What do you? Okay, sleep gas. Raise your hand.
No.
Corrosive gas.
Corrosive gas.
Okay,
Yeah.
corrosive.
I'm always wrong.
Let's do. Yeah. Well. Okay, so we'll do corrosive gas. Okay, now we also have the option to pick a defect to get a few more mutation points. So defects are like mutations, but they're generally negative, or you have to work around them in some way. Yes, we have. A
You just
compl-
have to simulate that as a player.
so the request was for a completely irrational fear of something relatively behind. Well, what if you feared yourself? Because that's always a great defect to pick. So we have a defect that was
I know where
quite a
we're going
winner
with
last
this.
year.
Why don't we have that defect? It seems like we should.
Fear yourself. Well, it's this sort of like. So we're gonna pick the evil twin defect. Oh, we can only pick one defect, unfortunately. So we could.
What?
It takes so long always every time.
You reset your mutation.
Oh, you reset your
Oh,
mutations.
okay. I'll pick it real quick.
Our expert. No. Okay, so we're gonna pick multiple legs, dark vision, night vision, spinnerets, corrosive gas, and evil twin, and then we're gonna have room for one more. Night vision. Okay, we're gonna because we get the mutation points from corrosive gas, one more mutation.
All right, let's pick a mental.
Okay, what type of mental
Mind horns.
mind horns?
What's a mind horns? Sounds good. Is that disintegration?
Yeah, I don't know what a mind.
That Siphon Vim is very
Okay,
spidery.
psychic vim or siphon vim,
Yeah, that's thematic.
which is like a life drain ability, like a mental sort of life drain. Okay, let's pick this. That sounds good. One more decision we have to make, which is like, what are we in the world? Like, are we an apostle? We can think of this almost as like a character class. Like, are we kind of like a brutish spider person? Or are we more of like an eloquent spider person?
Scholarly spider person.
Scholarly spider person? Graybeard. That's just
That's
an
just like
elderly
an
spider
elderly
person.
spider
Frankie.
It's
person.
a spider with like a flowing gray beard, which is
That's like me in real life.
okay. So it's Brian. All right, sure. Let's pick the grape. Yeah. Okay, and now we can either randomize a name, we can have a name.
Does anybody have a suggestion for
If
a
someone,
name?
yeah, if someone has.
Spider-Man.
What was the name?
Bruce Banner.
Oh,
said,
Charlotte.
AKA
Bruce.
Spider-
Okay, Bruce Banner.
Oh yeah, and
Charlotte-
Charlotte's
Charlotte-
kind of an old spider, isn't
Charlotte
she?
is an old spider.
Yeah,
It's true.
okay,
That's
good.
okay. Why don't we go with spider?
You always
Charlotte.
wondered what happened to Charlotte, like after she went away. And
Oh.
then your parents. Now you'll know.
That's okay. All right, we have Charlotte. Let's get started.
Are we going to enter a world seed here?
Oh yeah, so this is a thing we're gonna do. So you can enter a world seed, and what we'll do is we'll just do the world seed like Roguelike Cell 2018. And if you're watching on stream, you can enter this world seed as well and play in the same world as us. So that's something that you could do.
It sort of works.
Most of the stuff is the same in a given world seed.
You'll have
really
an
hard.
experience
Yeah. Right.
that might be similar to ours
Yeah.
in that you're playing the same game.
Well, you'll have at least entered the same world seed as us, right? Like,
That itself is a type of shared experience. So.
that's exactly right.
Okay, so let's do it. What?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, it's too late.
Oh god, this is not
It can't be
We're gonna be
fixed.
redoing
Don't
the character
restart.
creation.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
okay.
No, but we have to restart anyway because you picked Joba, didn't you?
You picked
It's
Joba.
well. Okay.
Okay, it's all right. We're gonna do it.
Here we go.
One more time.
We died.
Permadeath.
Good. Last.
So last character should work at this point. Okay,
there
so
we
here
go.
we go. Charlotte.
Wait, let's enter the seed first.
That's the
and then-
saddest thing to get an applause for.
Oh.
Okay. No.
All right, wait.
Okay, now there is yes. Start game.
Now
Nope.
pick.
Okay. One last decision. So previously you could only start in the static starting village of Jopa. Now we have 4 options. We can be a marshy spider. We can be a desert spider. We could be a spider that is in the desert canyons or one that's in the hills. And those have various okay, so if we start in the marsh, we get bonus reputation with insects and fish. Would a spider? I don't know. I don't know if a spider would be well liked by insects.
I don't know.
Someone come up with a justification for picking one of these.
All right.
Oh, Crocs. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you
it's not
start
gonna
with
be
stylish
Crocossins. But then we're going to be friendly with insects. All right, well, we're a diplomatic spider, I suppose.
You're attracted to insects, right? Like,
Yes. Yeah, right. Exactly. So we did this on March. Okay, so, boy, I can't read that. So you're going to have to do most of the reading here.
Mike, you really
Well,
not
that
read You
screen's
need
not
glasses.
working, and I can't read that.
So it says on the 22nd of Shoat Ux, you arrive at the village of Uralep. You have made it easy for me. On the horizon, Qud's jungle strangles chrome steeples and rusted archways of the earth. Farther and beyond, the fabled spindle rises above the fray and pierces the cloud-ribbon sky.
Okay, so we are let's zoom in. So we have in this new UI, you can pinch to zoom. And we are in a so let's zoom in a little more. Have we zoomed in yet? Oh, yeah. Maybe even a little more. So I can see. Okay, that's good. So we've just recently released this patch, which is kind of like an amalgam of all our procedural systems. So now we have these procedural villages. They're each driven by their own procedural histories. They have these cool procedural architecture styles, procedural culture, procedural quests. So this village, immediately you might notice, is populated by snapjaws, who are sort of these hyena people who are generally some of the early game enemies. But these snapjaws have settled down and started this village, and we're sort of walking among them now. I also didn't explain, I don't think, the conceit here that Brian and I are going to be commentating while Nick plays, right? Is that obvious?
No.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna walk around this village to try to find something interesting in it. Okay.
Okay. Well, so first of all, there's a crab hanging out here.
Okay. Well,
That's just,
It's just a crab.
it's just a crab.
so we can talk to it.
Oh.
Yeah, what does he say?
Yeah. Let's talk to the.
That's just a regular crab.
But wait, we can ask it.
Is there work around here? Oh, okay, well. Kind of raises his claw and points over that way, right?
Thank you. I have more to ask. Now, live and drink.
But wait, what did he actually said something there, or?
Well, he told us. Oops. He told us we want to look for Colchi Potent and the Sunbathed or Atis.
Okay.
Colchi Potent the Sunbathed.
Or a
So I assume we'll find him sunning on a
He's
rock
a very,
somewhere.
very
or
tan
something.
fellow.
Okay. All right. So let's.
I mean, I guess it could be ironic, and he's very pale, right?
Right, oh, it could be this. Yeah, the sunbathe.
The sunbathe.
Do we want to look at some of those? So we just passed some like strange sculptures we noticed. So this is one feature of the villages. They're filled with ceramic amphoras. They're filled with slime. As you okay, Brian.
Can I read that? The bellies of the vessel are sacred, for they both carry the waters of life and project the fluid passed onto the convex present. I guess this adds slime spitting effects to cooked meals. So if you like take this stuff and pour it into your soup, right, you get slime spitting effects. And this object is also a monument to a scene from the history of this village. So they've gone in here and they've painted this vessel with something that happened in the history, which is the prudence of the vermilion light bulb was revealed to the people of Urlep through the contemplation of gelatin.
Okay.
Sometimes you need to I kind of know what it's like. Like sometimes you're cooking and you're trying to come up with a good recipe and you just sort of need to like meditate on slime and sliminess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, gelatin also has certain refractive properties, so you're probably just like sort of contemplating this thing, and then you get the light from the light bulb, refracted through it with a certain beauty, right? Like that sort of shimmering, gelatinous beauty. And I mean, they obviously worship gelatin because these things are filled with slime.
That's true. They're
right?
filled with slime.
I mean, they. You might think I'm joking, but
I mean,
it's very clear that they're building up to some like religious worship of slimy, gelatinous objects.
Hey, and we could drink the slime.
Yeah.
Go for it, sure.
They might not like that.
Well, let's see. I mean,
you might make them.
It's not owned by you.
You're going to make them angry, worship like drinking their holy slime.
Of course, you walk into the village. The first thing you think to do is drink their slime. But wait, there's another one too, right? So they have this sort of monument to their history. We don't know what the vermilion light bulb is. That's a generated piece of history that who knows what that is. Okay.
Okay, so this is a similar amphora, but it's painted with a different scene. It says, "Pay heed, manipulators of light come together here. Be cordial to them, or may the silver aspirant take you."
Okay. So yeah, manipulate. Okay, so what this? I guess we could do some. So what this means is that everyone in this village has the mutation light manipulation. They've all like if you can manipulate light, and if you like slime, you've come to this village and this is your home now.
Light.
Your whole thing with refracting light.
I'm telling you,
wow.
I wasn't even making
that was
that
very
up.
prescient.
I'm telling you what's happening here. So
okay.
if you drink their slime, they'll all get mad at you and they'll kill you with their mind lasers.
Yeah, so let's not do that. Okay, so we're looking for Atis or the other one, right?
Right.
Okay, we don't have to, oh, well, yeah, that's fine. This is the warden of the village, who's also a snapjaw. So
I suppose let's find the quest. Let's find the quest.
Yeah, see if one of these
I wonder if those are baskets of slime.
named NPCs has a quest for us. We don't know how much combat we'll be getting into, probably some, but a lot of this village pass has made it so that you can just wander around the world and kind of interact with the weird cultures and histories of your generated world.
Now, these apostles are always quest givers, and they are one of the things that appears in all of the starting villages. So I'm going to get this quest to go to a city called the 6 Day Stilt.
Yeah, we'll skip reading this one, I think, because it's not generated, so whatever. Oh, look, it's a statue.
There's a fence blocking the way, though.
Yeah, and so we won't...
Let's try to get over to that statue.
This is a pretty
tight village.
Yeah, like...
Very cornery.
What are they living in here? These are like...
Well,
oh, wait. I think their mayor might be a...
Fish. Yeah, there we go. There's Adis, right? Like...
Adis is a fish.
He is just a regular fish, but he's got ghostly flames about him.
Yes,
And
which
like
is normally a mutation that you get on your hand, so that begs some questions.
He has flaming fins.
Yeah,
flaming fins. Okay,
yeah, it's
well.
Adis of the flaming fins.
So you may have heard that Caves of Qud is known for its writing. Okay, so let's ask the fish if it has any work.
Hey, fish, I'm looking for work.
All right, I can read this because I can turn around. So, friend, we've been sharing stories with each other, and we learned about a nearby location forgotten to our people, the 20th Hemu. What treasure might this place contain? Sunken treasure, pools of water, a shrine to the vermilion light bulb?
These are things fish are interested in, right?
We must know. If you locate it for us, we will pay you for your labor. We will pay you for your labor. What say you? We hear it's located somewhere between 2 and 6 parasangs north of 27th Pentacle Kazor.
So the fish mayor, who's sitting in the only pool of water in the entire village, is like, dude, I've heard of this place that has other pools of water. Can you go check this out for me? Because that would be awesome.
Well, how can we say no, really?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Here's some bad news for you, maybe. This isn't the mayor, actually. This is just a villager.
Oh, this is just some poor fish.
This is just some poor fish in the village.
Right.
We'll take jobs from any fish that asks us.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, but wait, we have a request to talk to Adis the fish again. Okay.
Oh wait, there was this statue down here.
Oh, there's a statue.
You gotta go through the door.
Oh. Yeah, but this looks. Why don't you walk around that door so we can see it a little?
We can see it.
I can't see anything.
Well.
Okay, here we go. All right, so this is a shrine to Shathrashir, the vermilion light bulb. So the vermilion light bulb.
So this wasn't a light bulb. So the idea of a vermilion light bulb was sort of a euphemism for the Sultan of Qud, who had gotten the moniker, the vermilion light bulb.
Yeah, and so the context here is that the sultans are these ancient rulers that we generate each game that lived in some sort of long ago period of the history of Qud, most of which is generated. So this shrine depicts a significant event for the life of the sultan. At the Battle of Kilep Dune, Shathrashir fought as a mercenary sultan to liberate vines. He wielded a colossal axe with such agility that it became forever known as Colossica, the friend of vines.
Wait,
was
does
not a
liberate
creative name.
vines to you sound like he was just an aggressive gardener?
Right, like.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just chopping vines down, you're liberating vines, I
Right.
suppose.
Yeah.
He's the friend of vines.
He was misremembered by history.
So when it references here the fact that he's the friend of vines, there are over 60 factions of the game, many of which are strange sentient animals and plants. Vines are one of them. So in theory, this ancient ruler of Qud was friendly to vines, and that has implications later in the game if we meet vines, if we are able to learn more about his history, or sometimes there are even cults that worship these sultans.
Do you want to see what the village meal is?
Oh yes. So we added this cooking system recently. Each village has its own procedurally generated signature dish. This village has meat apple baklava.
Sounds pretty good.
It's not bad. You can eat it. You eat the meal.
Yep.
Oh, it might mix well with slime. And it has okay, yeah, that's fine. It actually has this procedurally generated status effect that we get from it. So what do we have going on here so far? Snapjaws, slime, vermilion light bulb worship. They're all light. Oh, okay, the vermilion light bulb, right? And they all have light manipulation.
Light domain, right?
But it's interesting that it makes sense that they would worship a sultan named the vermilion light bulb, since they're all light shooters with their mind.
I don't know where this mayor is.
Okay.
So why don't we just go try to help the fish?
No mayor, huh?
There's a couple places you haven't explored. It's just a pretty torturous.
This is quite a village layout. So all these village builders there's a lot of techniques we use to generate these village layouts, and this one is particularly circuitous and a bunch of little couple hills.
Looks like.
Is that?
It's.
That might be the mayor.
This guy?
No.
This guy?
No. The mayor should be red. Do we tend to?
This is a dromad.
Okay.
Oh,
wait.
Oh, the mayor's a crocodile.
Oh, it's a croc.
We should have
the
known.
sunbathed. Of course, we should have known he's a crocodile, right?
Yeah, that makes
He
sense.
is sunning on rocks.
Would you like to do the honors?
Friend, welcome to the village of Erlef. We are people who honor manipulators of light and scorn blasphemy towards the vermilion light bulb. Come what may, you may drink of our fresh water and quench your thirst. They don't let me into the room with the fish. Welcome, strangers sleeping in our bedrolls and sitting in our chairs, but teach them obscenity of blasphemy towards the vermilion light bulb.
And that's actually their
saying.
That's their proverb.
Yeah.
Their proverb is welcome strangers sleeping in our bedrolls and sitting in our chairs, etc., etc. Okay, so let's see what work.
Well, my services are available if you have work to offer.
Yeah. Friend, my kinsfolk would be reclining on warm rocks all day, but after becoming acquainted with the goodness of manipulators of light, we changed our culture and consecrated new rituals. Sadly, the way the moose appeals have separated us from this Shadowteristics farmer's token. Would you be willing to recover it for us? I hear it's been taken to a secluded star apple farm. We will compensate you for your work. So, I mean, this makes sense. I mean, if you're a crocodile, you'd be like, oh, these dudes can make light all day and all night? That's sweet. Let's, like, start a religion about these people, right?
Yeah, that is interesting. Can you still hear me? Yeah, okay. That is interesting that the mayor of the village of light wizards who worship a sultan called the Vermilion Light Bulb is a
Crocodile.
sunbathing
I mean, that makes
crocodile.
complete sense,
Yeah,
right?
that is not. That is emergent. Let's say.
Well, sure, I'll find that farmer's thing you were talking about.
Sure.
Okay, so we have 2 quests. So each of these starting villages has usually 2 different procedurally generated quests that will lead you out to locations in the world that they link up to procedurally. So, okay, so Nick's going to do some...
I'm just going to buy a couple bandages.
He's going to buy some bandages because if we run into something that makes us bleed. Do we have anything interesting to say in the meantime? No. Okay. The villages are cool because so now I guess so what has happened is these quests have marked 2 loads. So this is a world map. Maybe you could zoom out here. This is the world map. So we have a static world map here where each of these world map tiles you can like sort of zoom into, and then you're on a procedurally generated like 3x3 and like many Z levels deep zone of like procedural terrain. And these locations that they gave us to go explore this quest, if we hit Q, we could see our quest log if we go to Q. And yeah, okay, so we have this first quest to go find the 6-day still. That is actually a static quest that appears in every village. But then we have like this quest called the 20th Hamu, which is go locate it, that's right, and return to Atis the fish. We have the Shatheristic farmer's token. We're supposed to find this particular farmer's token that's associated with the Sultan. So we can do either one of these. So do we want to go to the Star Apple Farm or to the other place, which is going to be like a ruined...
Help the fish or the crocodile?
Do you want to help the fish or the crocodile?
Fish.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, overwhelming fish support here.
Well, we'll help the fish. So which
one is that? So that's
the
the
20th
20th
Hamu.
Hamu.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you go into your journal, another it's not that... these locations have been revealed to us, so we can actually mark this location. There are all these procedurally generated locations in the world, and you get them inscribed as your journal. So we have settlements, so we have this Star Apple Farm, we have this ruin, and if you can highlight it to mark it on your map. Did you do that?
No. 20th, it's not going to show the 20th Hamu because it's relative to look at the quest log.
But if you just mark that,
It's north of the 27th Pentacle, so you want to mark the 27th Pentacle. Yeah.
Yes,
this one.
Right. And so we see where that is now, and we can walk over. We could maybe zoom in again and walk over there. So you could. Okay. Well.
Oh, no.
Now you're lost.
So we're lost. So this is part of the danger of traveling on the world map of Qud. So now we're pulled down into a procedurally generated zone. It's a watervine marsh. I'm sure we'll be okay. And we have to explore a bit for a while in order to find our bearings, or if we find an NPC, sometimes there are NPCs that are living out here in various settlements, we can talk to one of them and they'll give us directions. So we'll do that for a while. Now, while that's happening, okay, yeah. Okay, we found our bearing. Well, okay.
So we can continue our journey towards the 27th Pentacle.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
This happened last time we streamed.
We did. You get lost a lot.
Did you get
it's
lost
a sort
in
of
the exact same place?
It's a wild and vine-swathed world, and sometimes you can't see past the
If only
vines.
there were some friend of Vines that could
Right.
guide us.
Oh.
Wait, we discovered something. What is that? We discovered the location of Civil Sudris, legendary glowfish.
So another fish.
And we regained our bearings. Okay, so now we have a decision point, right? So we see some fish here. So this is a layer of a legendary fish. So we'll ask now, do we want to try to like find this legendary fish that we just found, or do we want to move on and help the first fish that we're trying to help? So if you want to deal with this fish that we just found, raise your hands. Okay, and if you want to help the Atis, the first fish. Wow, that's very close. I think though the explore this one slightly run was
No,
mine.
sure.
Okay.
So let's see how fish live in this world.
There were problems in the past where we generate these fish dungeons, but we don't give them enough water.
That doesn't happen anymore. They have water now.
Okay.
Oh, so we've got
so we're
what
being
is that?
attacked by
Okay, so
centipedes
now
here.
we're in combat. It's a good idea to look at so each of your mutations bestows you with some amount of passive or active abilities. We have spinnerets, so we can spin webs. We have gas generation, the corrosive gas generation, so we can emit corrosive gas. We have life drain. So this is where, you have kind of this huge procedural toolbox.
So I'm going to life drain this.
Life drain the centipede?
And then we're going to start running because we're Charlotte and we're a frail elderly spider.
Right.
So it's best to just not even try. But we will leave some webs in our wake. Oops.
Right, okay, there we go. So at a little choke point there, we left some webs, and we trapped the centipedes, and now we're free of them.
So that's good. So is it spider trapping insects and webs? You should get like some XP for that, right? That's like your whole reason to exist.
Yeah, I think that would be reasonable, but you don't.
So if we're looking for this fish, we're looking for a down staircase.
Yeah, these layers generally are these sort of like natural caverns that are sort of dungeon-esque.
Yeah, it depends on the area and it depends on the
Right.
creature, right? It depends on if they're smart or what faction they are, right? Like you can get a lot of outcomes for the way these dungeons are generated.
Yeah.
This looks like you've got a more naturalistic fish and a less civilized fish.
Well, yeah, because
So-
fish tend to live underground if given the opportunity.
Right.
Right,
So
okay.
we found the stairs.
Yes, question, which if you feel free to chime in with questions if you have them.
I was curious as to whether, so are these levels generated, like you stumble on the fish and you just generate it on the fly, or did this exist from the start of the game?
So the question is, do the levels we're stepping into exist from the start of the game, or are they generated when you step into them? And the answer is that all of these zones are fabricated the moment you step into them based on constraints that have been generated as you travel. And so there's a little give and take with the seeding in that way, so that if you approach something from one direction and something from another, and you've like manipulated the environment, the seeding causes some different outcomes, but you'll largely get the same physical structures. And so the world is infinitely big, right? So you can go down as far as you want forever. And you could, in principle, go off in every direction forever, but we've constrained it to an 80 by 25 map for sanity. I don't know if that's that sane. But if we try to generate that all up front, you would just never start the game. And so instead, we just fabricate it on the fly.
But so, like, an important thing, too, though, is, like, the fact that we had this legendary fish here was generated at world generation.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
like, the physical maps are fabricated on the fly, but we generate a big, we generate a procedural history. We generate a framework like where roads connect and what villages exist and what the history of those villages and what, which layers you're going to find and where like the hidden monasteries are and all of those things. And we build like a high-level connectivity map of all the canyons. But none of those get fabricated into these actual world zones. So when they're fabricated, we take those high-level constraints and we fabricate per like the actual zone map that you're traveling on. So you've got a high-level structure that informs that.
All right, well, we found this legendary fish, so...
Okay, good job. He's just a fish. He's loved by fish.
He's hated by roots. He's hated by roots for repeatedly beating them at dice.
So he like owns potatoes pretty hard at dice games, which Like, potatoes, fish feels like the right hierarchy of dice difficulty.
Yeah. And he's disliked by the children of Mammon for casting doubt on their beliefs. So that's interesting because the children of Mammon are this pretty destructive cult
They
in the game.
probably believe Roots can't play dice, right? Like, okay, well.
Well, he's
All right.
not much of a talker.
He's not much of it. So here's the thing that you could do. So we part of what you can do in Qud as you're traveling and meeting these sentient plants or animals or humanoid creatures, you can engage in this what's called the water ritual. Like, so water, not only is it like we inherit from a lot of roguelikes, we have like a thirst mechanic that's sort of like a hunger clock, but not totally. But it's also the currency of the world. So fresh water is semi-rare. And so what you could do is, like, you can talk to an NPC, and if they have significant reputation with their faction, you can engage in this process of sharing your precious water with them, and that endears you to them. And then you have these extra dialogue options. So should we do that? I don't know. We could
Yeah,
also...
let's do that. We came
Okay.
all the way
All
here
right.
to talk to this fish.
I mean-
That's true. It's well, this. I mean, I think the pool of water that this fish is living in is briny. We have fresh water. It's better water. So we share. Okay, so now our reputation with fish changed by 100. So when we do this, the word gets out, and we're more respected and admired among fish. But we get these modifiers to our reputation with these other factions based on the backstory of this particular fish. So this fish was hated by Roots. Now Roots like us a little less because we shared water with this fish. And this is sort of like the basic unit of cultural exchange in the game. Here, so we don't, unfortunately,
Fish aren't really fond of us.
no, we have negative 250 reputation with fish. So we can't actually, if we had positive reputation, we could spend some of it to
We're
get
not
like,
doing enough for the fish, everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're working on that, right? Like
we are working on
We're,
that.
we're trying. We're trying, fish.
So a fish can teach you swimming, which is a skill. If you spend enough reputation, a fish can share a secret with you, and it's a secret that a fish would know. Which is like
No, they know, like, where pools of fresh water are.
they know where
right?
pools of water
So,
are. They know where, which will then let you get more water and share with more fish. So
Right.
it's this virtuous cycle of fish love.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we
can't
can't
do
do
it.
any of that.
Yeah,
So
they don't like
Goodbye,
us.
friend.
so our other option is to kill the fish. But I mean,
No.
well, I mean, we should let. I mean,
Okay,
what should
well-
we? Oh yeah, we could trade with the fish.
He's got nothing to trade.
He's a fish, Jimmy. Doesn't
Yeah,
have
come
anything
on.
to trade. Yeah, could be reasonable, please.
Live and drink, Aqua friend.
Okay, so we're gonna say bye to the fish then. There,
I don't think
They
we
might-
can take him. I mean, if you
Well, that's
really
another-
want to, but we're kind of weak, at least in terms of offensive mutations. Yeah, let's that would be my vote too. Would be to help.
well, okay, so let's take a quick vote because people are. So, do we want to be hostile to this fish? No.
One of the
Everyone loves it.
points-
Just fish are friends. Okay.
And in fact, if we betrayed him, we would have violated the water ritual.
That's
which
Oh
is-
yes.
Once
Good
you've
planning.
water ritualed with someone, attacking them later is a grievous breach of Qud's etiquette,
Yes.
and everyone hates you.
We were trying to lure you into it, and you made the right decision.
Good job.
So we're gonna go back.
What? Is this the same layer?
Maybe. Probably not.
So we just
Should we investigate?
we'll just hit yes, and then if it's the same layer.
Nope, it's a different one.
Okay, so look, the world is sometimes
Has a lot of stuff in it.
quite right. It has. Oh, we gained a level. Okay.
Good job, Nick.
Good job, everyone.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
this is okay.
This might be a problem.
There is some stuff happening here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, I don't think it's.
Let's have a look.
No, it just has a. I don't think it is a village. I think it just has a
it's a
So
shrine.
there's a
Scribe.
scribe hanging out around here.
I wonder if those are friendly with the Snapjaws or not. And there's like Hindran?
There's a lot going on.
There's
So,
what
a
is
lot of
going
scribes.
on?
so exploring the overworld can be quite dangerous. So this is a layer of a. What was the layer of?
A Snapjaw hunter.
Snapjaw.
Oh, a snapshot hunter. So more likely to pop. Like humanoids are more likely to populate this location. And so it's a bunch of Snapjaw, but it's also a scribe, did you say?
Yeah, there's like Hendren and there's
some
a
sort
gem
of
cutter.
like expedition to
What
this
is,
place.
I don't know what's going on here. This is nuts.
What did the we're being requested?
Okay, so the gem cutter has a. She's an agate clone of Sadamas. So that's a carving of a clone of Sadamas. That's not. She's not like wielding a clone of Sadamas.
So a little action figure of this legendary ancient.
So she not only has a figurine of Sadamas carved in agate, but she has a figurine of the Sky Bear like the original one. So she's like a super collector of the Sky Bear.
Well, I think that's just one because agate clone. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I see.
So there's a lot to unpack there, but she's a gem cutter. She has some agate figurines.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a shrine to Zerduk, the Berchichum Terror. In 136, Zerduk won a decisive victory against the combined forces of Bibor Roost at the bloody Battle of Camripur Spire. As a result of the battle, Camripur Spire was so rife with electric arcs that it was renamed the Logical Wreck.
Right, that's my nickname.
Okay.
Now, I think in the interest of time, we should make a decision about whether we're going to try to deal with the craziness happening here or move on and help the fish.
Can you even flee? You got hostiles.
I mean, fleeing
All right.
is going to be a challenge.
Well,
at this point,
there's
but-
Fisher friends. There's a powerful audience call to help the fish. So let's
Okay, I'm just going to level up real quick.
level up. Which mutation do we want to level up? Any suggestions?
What do you guys think? More legs, faster legs.
I like that.
Good,
Let's do it.
good choice.
So leveling up your mutations enhances them. So with legs, unfortunately, what we learned last time we did this is that it doesn't give you more legs. It makes your legs better. So you get faster because you already get a movement bonus when you have multiple legs.
Okay,
So we're better with them.
We can't go back to the world map because there are hostiles nearby. So we're going to have to try to outrun all of this craziness that's happening.
So this is a pretty dangerous situation. So we're going to try to maneuver our way outside of this Snapjaw encampment here. There are the stairs.
I think
Turn the
we're gonna
corner.
get away.
That was good. They're fighting each other.
Yeah, who's fighting who?
You arrived in the middle of like a scribe versus Snapjaw disagreement about like action figures or something. Yeah, I might. It's like a collector. This is like a collector's convention. Gone wrong.
Okay, so luckily, spin webs is a good defensive mutation because it lets you flee fairly well. You leave the webs in your wake, and things that pass over webs get caught in them unless they're proficient at walking over webs. So we seem to have.
Why don't you kill that guy?
Okay, we're gonna.
Let's take care of him.
Oh, there's one Snapjaw left.
There we go. He was chasing us. Oh, there's.
Who else is chasing us?
And basically, you can't exit to the world map until you're out of combat, and we're lost again.
We're having a rough trip.
But we regained our bearings. Okay, wait a second.
So just some
We
random ruins rise out of the desert. No.
No.
Okay, we're gonna go help the fish friend.
Okay,
All right. Finally, we've arrived at the 27th pinnacle.
North?
Oh, right. Because the quest is to go 2 to 6 parasang. So a parasang is a unit of measurement that's like one world map tile.
Ooh, that's not good. So there's a puma after us.
Oh yeah, that's pretty.
That's not great.
That's a pretty out of depth monster. The chitinous puma.
This is not good
Wait.
either.
Oh, it's a dawn glider.
We've got a dawn
that's
glider.
That's pretty bad.
Which is like a little dragon breathing fire at us. So that's also not good. Yeah. Luckily,
and it's like nighttime
luckily
too.
It's nighttime, so they can't see us quite as well. We beat the flames out.
So
on
we
our
were on fire, but if you spend a turn passing, you beat the flames out, and you lower your temperature. So now we're kind of lost in the salt desert. I guess we're not.
We're not dead yet.
We're not necessarily
We
lost.
really want to stop and rest, but I think we're probably still being chased, so...
Hard to tell at night.
Yeah. So we're wandering through the salt desert here.
So now we're just wandering north and hoping to encounter.
Are we?
I
Pool
think
of
the fish
water
was
we're
maybe
finding.
a little misguided to look for water in the desert,
I don't
but
know.
you know, what does he know? He's a fish. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was rough.
It's probably gonna what?
Yeah, it's 2 to 6 world squares
It's
though.
two
which
to
is-
right. So it's and
It's
each
a
one
bit
of
of-
those is 3.
So it can be a bit of a trip.
So luckily the desert's.
Did you like juke west though, or
No,
you
I
went straight
didn't.
north?
I'm
Okay.
just going
So
straight.
we're
we
gonna-
should we should run into it here.
So luckily the
Moment.
desert is somewhat easy to traverse geographically, but we also are like thirst is stressed more quickly in the desert.
And actually, we're hungry, so I'm just gonna make a little camp here.
Okay, so we have this new food system here, so you can kind of just eat a normal meal by default. You can
A normal meal.
a normal
So
meal.
let's see what a normal meal is.
See what
So
the-
you whip something up.
You gather whatever you can find for your meal: some freed cinnamon, a sprinkle of venerable salt,
Venerable salt.
and a smidgen of berries. Well, that is like,
That sounds pretty good.
by cut standards, that's delicious.
Yeah, there were no feet or anything.
Okay.
Okay, so our hunger is sated.
There we
Wait,
go.
we
oh,
done
there
it.
we go.
So we located the 20th ammo.
And we leveled. We gained the level. Very nice. So the fish Adis just wanted the location of this ruin, so we found it. So we could return to Adis, or we can explore this ruin that we found and see what's there. The caveat there is that the ruins tend to be populated with more difficult creatures, or creatures who tend to be hostile, or just we might die is the upshot of that. So go back to Adis or explore the ruins. I mean, like, okay, explore. They want to explore the ruins. We want to help the fish, but we have our limits.
So this place is like a huge tower
Oh, yeah.
sunk in the salt.
Yeah, the way these. Do you want to talk about the ruin generation a little bit? Because it's pretty cool.
So this is like I was talking a little bit to Brian earlier that these use WFC primarily, which is a technique which was introduced pretty recently, within the last year or two, to generate the interiors. But
What is-
WFC generates these isomorphic sort of interiors that are the same in every direction. And so in order to give them some texture, we create a higher level structure, which can be one of a bunch of varieties. And so this is a higher level structure that's built around a circular tower. Where the interior is going to be filled with WFC-based structures.
I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but no, that was a good explanation. But we just found a relic, which is actually really rare. So there are these like ancient relics in the world that usually live in these historic sites, but occasionally are just in various overworld locations, which we found. So this one's just called New Hamish. I think that name generator is actually broken because I think that's a region, like that's supposed to be a region name, not an item name, but sure. So masks, we can read the masks maintain their sacred status in the lives of the eaters, even as they lost the capacity to stitch them into their own faces. This one is no different. It's carved with fanciful depictions of boots.
As you would.
It's a boot mask.
All right. And it gives +2 strength, which
Yeah,
is
it's
actually
pretty good.
really great. So it's a mask so that it equips to your face slot, but it gives you, and has fanciful depictions of boots, but again, it gives it strength. It's actually quite a find, but sure. And there's a statue here. Should we?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
You're gonna go ahead and desecrate it?
oh, okay, right. So this shrine depicts a significant event from the life of the ancient Sultan Murashid. While traveling through Zainab Barrio, Murashid stopped at a market in Kibatum. At an obscure shop, he purchased a strange floating orb and named it Strangicus Mishrashid Friend. Then he went to a nearby tavern and lost Strangicus Mishrashid Friend to a local pickpocket. He cursed the tavern and left Kibatum. And this moment of his life was immortalized.
Yes.
So basically, we generate these histories for the sultans. They become like inscribed in the historical record, and then those scenes can appear on various artifacts or historical snippets throughout the world. So this is something we added somewhat recently. So we wanted the option to just let you sort of like, with no real mechanical impact, there are all these shrines and like sort of nice, quiet places through the world, and we wanted the option to let you like pray at them. It also came up in sort of our procedural quest design that there's reason at times to desecrate them, because sometimes if you are worshiping roots and I hate roots and I have a vendetta versus you, etc. So
we don't really need to sell people on the reason to desecrate statues,
I mean,
right?
The reason you would normally desecrate a statue. So, does anyone want to pray or desecrate this statue? No. Okay, let's take a vote here because there's three options: pray, desecrate, nothing.
Pray.
Pray. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Desecrate. Nothing. Nothing wins.
All right.
Okay.
So I think, okay, so there's a little bit more of this map that we can explore over here.
Yeah, I kind of suspect that was the bottom level, though, because you found a relic.
Well, but it's not. That was just an overworld relic. So it might not even have stairs down. It's not necessarily a dungeon.
All
It's
right,
just an interesting place.
I think we can say that we've explored this place.
Yeah, good job.
All right, so let's return
So we
to...
return to the fish?
Yeah, and how are we doing on time here?
I don't know.
Because I don't have any way to tell.
We have 4 minutes.
All
Okay,
right.
let's return. So maybe we'll win if we return to or maybe we'll do something very dangerous afterward and guarantee death. But so let's go back to okay, we almost got to the village. We got lost. I'm sure this
But
will be
we recognize the area.
Oh, okay, right.
This is a place we've been lost.
But wait,
before.
there are hostiles now, so we have to flee from that croc who's chasing us. Sometimes a crocodile's not a mare. I like to say. All right, so...
The fish was in this room, I think.
In the water.
Oh, yes.
There we go.
I've located the 20th Hamu.
Thank you for your service, Drifter. Our village owes you a debt. For now, please choose a reward from our stockpile as payment for your service. So we gained another level. We get XP.
Level 4.
So now we choose a procedurally generated reward. Yesher skin slippers, magnetized boots, or emergency services security card and a chrome key.
I will point out that our character's motivation
Was
for being
shoes.
in the
It
salt
was
mark...
shoes based.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
and we're wearing... we are now wearing
But
a beautiful
not so
mask of the
easy.
ancients with fanciful depictions of shoes on them.
Of boots specifically,
Of
actually.
boots.
So that was a sign, clearly. So I think it's pretty obvious that.
Well,
this
but
is-
that's our opinion.
that's my.
So, okay, do we want the slippers? I think they give you plus movement speed. Do we want the boots?
Boots.
Let's just go with the boots.
Boots.
The
All right.
boots win.
Yeah. Da 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 da.
All right. And that is okay, so like do we want to do something to just it feels bad to end with a
Drink the
character.
slime?
Do we want to drink this? Oh,
Let's drink the- let's
That's
drink
the
the
perfect
slime.
way to end.
Yeah. The capstone Caves of Qud experience.
Let's drink the
Chugging
slime.
26 drams of slime.
Now, how much slime could we drink? I think a pretty good amount, actually.
If you drink enough slime, you will
think it-
vomit, I believe.
I think it was over east.
East, okay.
So what should we recap here? We're about to drink the sacred slime of a village of light worshipping
worshiping.
/ light laser shooting snapjaws and fish
And
and
crocodiles.
crocodiles.
Yeah.
Is it? But see, no one's even watching us, so we might get away with it.
It-
Well, if that's the case, then we could just pour it all over ourselves.
Right.
Okay. Yes. It's disgustingly slimy. All right, and wait.
Oh, now we're confused. It messed us up. We are drunk on slime.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But there's the
no.
laser.
Oh no.
With their light manipulation powers.
Yeah, it takes 10
Who would have
damage.
thought?
You'll
Oh,
notice
no.
this name's all scrambled. That's because we're confused. We're drunk on slime.
Okay.
We're being shot at with mental lasers.
I'm gonna try to escape the village. I don't know where the door is, but yes, the gas could let us melt the wall and run.
So maybe you should just hit the gas
The
at this
warden
point.
sees us though.
Hit
He's
the gas.
just a snapjaw.
Okay.
Hit the gas and let's see what happens.
Okay.
We made it.
Oh.
Okay, we're being pelted with lasers, and we actually, wow, we made so. We tried. I mean, we drank the slime and everything. I
We
mean,
drank the slime and we lived to tell about it.
We just booked out of that village.
all right. I think that's a victory. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for participating in the live playthrough of Caves of Qud with us. Thank you.